So in an earlier episode, we talked about hate, right? Now let's talk about agree to disagree, or in other words, tolerance.
I don't understand tolerance. I understand individual rights. Like you say, agree to disagree. I agree that you have a certain understanding. I don't understand tolerance. Tolerance is, I think you already reach a point that you're about to snap, then you have to hold yourself back. I think we shouldn't get there in the first place. Tolerant is when the quorum of meeting is not held rightly. Like we are tolerating each other, and that tolerance is what eventually explodes. So I don't know about tolerance that much. We have to, the way the world is, we must adopt a quality of tolerance. But tolerance is deep down, I don't think you have the right to do that. But I have no choice but to agree. So I think we have to work on the fundamental, even before we tolerate, like husband and wife, we tolerate each other. I think you are
No.
already somewhere where you're not supposed to be. That there's a loss of respect. There's something foundational that is not addressed. You have a right to your belief. I have a right to my belief. I celebrate your belief. It's how I hold you to celebrate my belief. I don't know where tolerance comes. You are doing your own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I don't know how tolerance comes. And also, I think tolerance is when I accept violation. Tolerance is I'm saying I'm already being violated. And maybe we have to hold each other with such sensitivity that we don't violate each other. I don't agree with tolerance. I know we have to tolerate. Tolerate means my neighbor is playing loud noise and I'm tolerating. That means my right has been infringed. He shouldn't be playing that much noise, but I don't have a choice. So I tolerate. Tolerate is almost allowing myself to be abused.
But there are situations where tolerance is necessary. One of my friends, her boyfriend, and I got into conversations a few years ago. We got into a discussion, a debate, and I didn't notice that he was getting so emotional. I kept thinking he's kind of making this so personal. We were just talking about the treatment of white people in Malaysia, and he's white. And he was like, no, we're not treated that well. And I just felt like, you know what? You need to check your privilege right now. You cannot, it's just wrong. I'm a brown person in this country. I can tell you we are treated worse than you. And a brown immigrant, even worse than you. He hated that I said that. He told me to leave his house. It was a big drama. So I don't like him. I don't really like that view. I tolerate him. He's my friend's boyfriend.
I accept that. You have to. What are you going to do? There's
Yeah, and
nothing-
I agree to disagree. I don't have hateful feelings towards him, nothing. She loves him. Okay, we both love the same person. You make her happy, fine by me. But he still to this day doesn't like me, doesn't agree with me, thinks that I'm wrong.
Then he is violating you. He is not taking, and that's a person you have to watch out. They're already telltale sign that he's forcing his ideology. He's forcing you to agree.
That's what I didn't like. Why do I have to agree with you? I don't
Yeah.
think you're right. You don't think I'm right. Let's agree to disagree. It's
Right.
okay. You
Right.
don't have to force me to believe what you believe.
Then that means you're saying the foundation of tolerance is there's still violence. That the person that is tolerating must allow themselves to be violated. I'm saying it must not be there. Respect must be there. You can totally and completely disagree with me, and I'm not tolerating it because I respect it is your right. As long as you don't ask me to agree or to allow myself to be run over, then I'm tolerating. So I think tolerance, even though it's needed, it is a recognition of fundamental violation, and I think we should deal with the fundamental violation. Fundamental violation. That means tolerance is take it. The neighbor is playing a loud music, I have to live with it. There's nothing I can do about it. Then I take into tolerance. So tolerance can be used as a means for me to abuse myself or abuse another.
But can tolerance also be I understand?
Yeah.
I don't agree, but I understand, and I allow you to be.
Yeah. You don't even have to understand. You only understand it is that person's right. But there is this distance between you and that person.
Yeah, I might not like you, but I don't hate you. I don't think badly of you. I don't wish you badly. It's Friday night. You're blasting the music. Okay lah, I'll close my door and I'll
Okay.
ignore it.
Is that tolerance or understanding? Or is that compassion? So is tolerance the absence of compassion? Or when compassion is there, tolerance is not needed? I have a problem with the word tolerating. We are all told from childhood to tolerate, which is the foundation of tolerance. You know what I mean? How they ask me to tolerate when you think I'm a second class citizen, or you think I'm not as good as you and I'm supposed to be okay with it? I think tolerance is because we couldn't find mutual respect. Tolerance is the absence of compassion. And when all of that is not there, we tolerate, we retain ourselves from acting violently. You understand? I don't think I want to put myself in any situation deliberately that I have to tolerate for long periods of time. Then I'm abusing myself. I'm accepting being abused. And what happens when you accept yourself being abused? You get used to it. Then you will do that line your friend did. No, you're dying for it.
Not my friend, Pooja from...
Puja. You're dying for it. You're asking for it. And that's what happens. Now we
Tolerate
twist,
for too long.
now we twist this a little bit. How much you are tolerating? How much in the name of tolerance you are allowing yourself to be abused? And you must understand, we can only take that much abuse, and then the system starts breaking down.
But when do we know, right, what we are tolerating? Like, white people in a white part of town, a black family moves in, all the hateful white people, if they are tolerating their existence. Actually, what they're tolerating is wrong. This is another human existing here. They should,
Right.
but they can think that way. How do we know when we are tolerating something where, okay, actually, hey, do I need to re-examine the fact that I'm even seeing this as tolerance? Or is it that the black family can say, I'm going to tolerate these white people's ignorance and attitude towards me? How do you know? Because you know what I mean? Like on either side, you feel you're right.
If you're asking me that question, I cannot answer you. That is why you need to meditate. You need to contemplate. See, you are asking me something that I cannot answer. No one can. So this is where your discrimination, discernment comes in. So I can give you an answer for that. But all I'm saying is I'm throwing back to you. I'm throwing back. Don't tolerate the situation as though you can't be clear. Don't tolerate that as though you cannot find the answer. You can. And why you are in that place is for you to exercise you. So you ask, how do you know between this and this? Question.
Because I also wonder, like, I say to this person that I'm just tolerating this person because they love my friend. I'm happy that he makes her happy. Maybe I was also wrong in the way I spoke to them. There's also my role in it too.
But you're asking, how do I come to a resolution? You must step in. You must be quiet enough. You must look at it enough. You will become clear. I think the problem is we are waiting for somebody else to give us the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, we live in a part of town where within the last 5 to 8 years, it's become a very Korean part of town. And I remember thinking when I walked around that area, I was like, so many Korean shops. Some of the signboards are also in Korean. I was like, oh, this is what people feel when they talk about like immigrants moving and changing a place. Then actually I was like, hey, how nice. We've got the best Korean food near our house.
You see, what I'm saying is, you cannot minus you. Like people listening to this podcast, I hope they are not looking for an answer. They are looking for two people struggling to arrive at an answer, and they are learning the struggle. The answer is not the most valuable thing. The struggle that we are going through as we contemplate is what I hope they take home, not what I said. The process I went through to come to it, and you can come up with an answer that can be completely different, might be brilliant. More than this. So, what you are saying is tolerance is present when there is no meditation, when there is no contemplation, when there is no you, what is yours to do. And I think at your age, when people are in their 20s, I think you are at the age to see what is my role. You haven't got into the heart of living, the heart of effecting life. You have been effected up to now. Now you are stepping in. No. This is what I think. This is how I look at it. This is my decision. This is my clarity. When do you know how long to tolerate? And when do you know how to snap? You can't ask me that. You have to become quiet until you come to that clarity, which means you are shaping life now. Don't ask somebody how they shape their life, or don't ask somebody how to shape your life. You can ask them what is the process they went through to get the answer. Adopt the process, you come up with the answer. So can I say, if I link it with this, is tolerance somehow I was persuaded not to come into action? Is tolerance a way for me to tolerate what I shouldn't tolerate? Is tolerance there because so many of us are standing paralyzed? If around me somebody is racist, I will act. I will act. It's not that we are oblivious of race. I think you are more oblivious of race than my race, my age. We are aware of race, but you are not allowed to judge somebody. I don't tolerate that. I won't tolerate such a behavior. So, tolerance has a positive part and a negative part to it, isn't it? I have a feeling what we are talking in this podcast is reaching to a point to say, what is your say? What is your part to play? It's you coming to age. You're asking me for an answer. I don't mind giving you my answer. But I think what I'm attempting to do, what we are attempting to do, is to help people to go into the process of waking up to the answer for themselves. Because each situation requires its own answer. That's why each aeroplane has a captain. Right? Even though the plane is predestined, pre-flight, now almost electronic, but there's a captain. He's decider. So you becoming a captain of your own life, which is what I think they introduce the word tolerance, because they don't allow you to come into action. And maybe because we don't come into action, that's why we have to tolerate. And toleration is just things waiting to explode, You know what I mean? If you see a building or a roof you build and it's tolerating more pressure than it should, it's just question of time something to happen. So I think tolerance is dangerous. It's what we do because we don't know what to do. But we got to figure out our action so it doesn't look like toleration. It becomes an understanding and togetherness. But tolerance for long periods of time, it's going to collapse. So what you have been talking about, or the questions you are raising for you and for the people who hear this, is how you all can wake up to the answer you need to live up.
So when we bring it back to agree to disagree, right?
Right.
Some people, they hate that idea. I like it. I'm not going to force you to believe what I believe, but I sure as hell am not going to believe what you believe. But why do you think that we feel the need as a society and like individuals within this society to say, no, I believe this, you have to believe what I believe?
It's control, it's violation. It is lack of respect. It is the denial of another person. That's why I always say ABC. I am, you are. When you are, you have the right to think anything you want, as much as I have the right to think anything I want. This whole world wants to move to celebrate only they are. You must understand, if they believe in something, they force you to believe. It is simply to make them all, We have been from Alexander the Great to Stalin, to everybody, we have been celebrating the person who has made it all about himself. It's like a hero complex. We are so selfish, so self-obsessed, there's only us. So if I believe this, how dare you believe in something else? So it's a movement about making it only about oneself. And the sad part of humanity is egotistical people have been writing the narrative. In their life, no one else can exist. We see it in religious extreme. You believe in that, good. I believe in this. Like as though you care that much, I go to heaven or hell.
And also, if you're right, okay lah, you go to heaven, I go to hell lah.
Right. Unless they're so in love with me, they want me to go to
Heaven with
too.
them?
And that I don't buy.
Me neither.
So they're lying. So fundamentally, this is a mating disorder in the brain. If you walk into a room, you see the competition of who can be the one that day. It's nothing but mating. It's a pre-selection. And that person is drunk by his own hormone, by his own internal movement. That person is not there. If you ask Gurdjieff, George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, he will say, man is not born with a soul, he can give birth to one. The soul is when I am and you are. Almost everybody is moving, trying to make it all about them. It's me, I'm it. It's like a God complex. Like I'm the only one here. Do you know what happens by that? They minus everything else. That's when they become utterly alone, And then they become always afraid that their position will be taken away. This is what leads to anxiety disorder. Why is it the number one reason to longevity is community? Why is it? Not medicine, not exercise, not smoking, not drinking. It's community. Do you know there's a test done? I think I'm going to mess up, but I'll get the point across. They put a rat and tested the rat with water laced with cocaine and clean water. That rat just took the cocaine all day long. And then the guy who was researching said, okay, maybe they're all addictive. Let's try something. He built a park, a rat park. That means there are many rats in there.
It's like
mice.
a society.
I don't think it's rat, mice. In there running around. It's like a rat park or something he left. And he left the same water. Cocaine, clean water. He said 95% of them drank the clean water. There's a small percentage that took the cocaine. But the 95%, then he said, wow. Is addiction a communal thing? So now, when somebody makes it all about them, they're going to be a cocaine addict. Because there's nobody else, only them. Tolerant is when I know there is another. Tolerant is when I consider. Tolerant is I see your point of view to as how you see my point of view. It's not even to agree to disagree, to agree to each other's being. You can say you like color blue and I like color purple or something. So, are you right? I'm right?
I'm just wondering where this line is, right? We say agree to disagree is kind of a good thing, but tolerance is kind of a bad thing. How?
You see, I answer you and you're always trying to be right by both parties. Every question you're asking, where's the line? Me, where's the another? You are considering another. I give you the third element. What is true? True is beyond you and me, If let's say we are building something, I think this is how it should be done. He's thinking that's how it should be done. But for a moment, let's both of us pause. How should this be done? Which is beyond you and me. You are now asking about dharma. What is the eternal rightness? Because we know when it's only about both of us, it might not be right for right. Right? A mathematical equation is right for right, it's not your right, my right. If you're doing a construction and you're measuring the weight of the beam and all that, it is what is right. It's not what you like, what I like. It's not about tolerating. It's what is right. So should we also have the capacity to objectively see beyond just you and me? Yes, I know I'm right. I also know you are right. So I tolerate you, you tolerate me, we are right. But tolerance disappears when we find out what is right. right? What is right? What's right for all? So could it be the reduction of you and me is a limitation? It's still about you and me. When Einstein put the theory down, or somebody discover a theory, a law, it is a law. It doesn't matter you Jew, French, Canadian, doesn't matter. It is what it is. If you see the speed of gravity, 32 feet per second square, I think,
But I think that we don't know what's right, what's true.
that's what you must explore. Right? Do you understand? Only when you find out what is right for right's sake, not what is right for me or right for you, that's where the real power is. Is it that's what the pursuit of enlightenment? No, it's not my right, your right. What is right? What is the ultimate rightness? And each person must come to it on their own. If not, again, you have to take on somebody's right to pretend that is the right. Even if that is the right, it is still your point of view that you're forcing on me. So you must step in. So almost all these questions you're asking has to be a question you ask, how can I step in? How can I wake up to it? It's time for me to be birthed. That I must put myself at stake and learn and grow. Maybe this entire podcast is just coming to age.
Well, we are right now at 43 years old.
Now we are at 43? No. No.
Well, 43 episodes in.
43 episode. Probably you're 20 something. We haven't, maybe when we hit the 50th episode, you become 30 years old.
Fair.
And then we go. And this is nice. You see, what I think I want to say, which is probably not of your topic, maybe this is the process of growing up. That you are seeing the complexity of life. You see, when you're a kid, we tell you Barney's story, we tell you Princess story. Life is simpler. As you get older, you realize the lie we have told you. Life
I
is
feel
not
like
a
life is simple, people are complicated. And
Since you have to live with people,
Yeah.
life is complicated. And this, you are living with people with guns and knives and all that. So
Yeah.
it really gets very complicated. Now let's go back. Go back into, your subject was tolerance.
Agree to disagree.
Agree
and
to disagree.
tolerance, yeah.
No, agree to disagree should be an action of respect. Once it's respect, there is no confusion. That you hold the other intact. And you know how you hold the other intact? You are not that person. That person has to arrive to it. As how you arrive to it. You cannot force somebody into realization. You can play a role as a force for them to wake up to their realization, but you cannot force anybody to realization. And maybe when you accept that, the word tolerance disappears. The word allowance happens. The word each individual waking up to it happens. I like this episode for this reason. No? It's a little bit all over the place. And I think the error of people is you are looking for the one-liner. You're looking for the simple answer. And that's how you are abused by a lot of these people. They come and say, I know the one line, the one method. You squint one eye and you breathe through the left nostril, your seventh chakra will open. This is how you are being fooled. Again, they are giving you something to escape you coming into being. I like the Kudambai poem. Vetta veliyil varum palai nindradai ishtamai papayadi Kudambai ishtamai papayadi. He says, standing ruined in the open sky, you shall look upon it in delight, you shall look upon it in delight, because now you must step in. No one can help you. All help is that you use it to come to it. So maybe what we are talking about is you coming into action. I love the way J. Krishnamurti approaches the subject. So we are inquiring together. He didn't say, I've found 7 steps or 12 steps or just listen to me. Just follow this that I've done. You will be saved. Just believe in this. Your life will be good. That is a violation, and then they force us to tolerate if we reject. Maybe what you are battling with is, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to pay attention. I'm on my own on this. Like you're asking, how far should you tolerate your friend? How far? I really don't know how to answer. I might act differently, but that's just me.
I asked this topic because I think a lot of what's preached right now is tolerance
Yeah,
as a remedy for hate.
yeah. Which means take it, get raped, get somebody to gawk at your butt, tolerate men doing nonsense, tolerate women doing atrocious thing, tolerate. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm against that completely. It's almost persuading you to make it okay. It is not okay. But I might not be able to do anything. So I live the protest of it not being okay. That's tolerance. But I must seek a way that I am not living intolerance. 9 out of 10 marriages survive because we have this idea of tolerance. You tolerate each other. Just tolerate. Do you know what it does? It is you yourself volunteering to be raped every day. But we have to still tolerate. Agreed. But are we looking for the answer? Are we looking for the...
So tolerance is in transit state almost.
I love it. Tolerance is the sign saying, come on, we got to look into this.
It's a yellow light.
The yellow light. And we got to look into this. We got to pay attention to this. We got to go into this. I think I give you an insight into your podcast, sir. Our podcast. Your podcast. I'm just in it. Since that's what I teach, I'll say. It's about meditation. Means you taking time to contemplate. You coming to the answer on your own. You putting yourself at stake. You realizing you have a role to play. You saying, oops, I'm holding the steering wheel now. If I turn left, it's going to left, turn right. And now I choose to the clarity I have. And I'm seeking more clarity. To the clarity I have, I participate in the shaping of me and my life. Isn't it?
Yeah. Any last words on the topic?
I think be excited about this. If this podcast led you to a point that you say, wow, yes, I hear people, I listen to people, but now I'm going to pay attention to me. If this has led you to self-inquiry, we have done a good job. Not that we are providing an answer. We are provoking your answer.
Seems like everything comes back to the self-inquiry.
Looks like it. With that word,
Peace
thank
out.
you. Peace out. Thank
Out.
you.